Thanks for joining us on VIP TV. It's great to catch you now. I think you're been the busiest man I've come across in lockdown, because it's taken about 3 weeks to get you in front of a Zoom camera, but you're here and it's great to see you looking so well, pal. 13 months almost to the day since the loss to Chris Algieri and your final fight. Tell us life in 13 months.
I'd say a good 9 months of it's been very, very tough. Very, very hard call to make, deciding to retire. You know, I certainly didn't want to retire, but I think it's inevitable for every fighter, you know, that day comes. And it was always about trying to get out of the game with all my faculties intact and remaining sharp so I can make good decisions within my business, but ultimately be there for my children and my wife and be a good dad. You know, I've had a hard career. I've made hard work of it because of my style of fighting and the fact that I enjoyed fighting and not boxing. But, you know, it was the right call to make. Going out at Madison Square Garden was a phenomenal experience. But there's only so much the body can take, and my health was starting to deteriorate, to say the least.
When you say your health was deteriorating, in what way? You know, was you feeling ill?
I was just just my eyes. I was struggling with my eyesight. I was struggling in the build-up to the fight, but I didn't think it was an issue. And then the reason Jamie called the fight to a halt was because I'd said, you know, I'm starting to get double vision, Jay. And I think he picks up on it in training. And with me saying that in the fight, as well as the fight slipping away, you know, I was in there with a much better fighter against Chris Algieri. You know, the fight was starting to run away from me. And he was probably thinking about saving me for another day, or, you know, just maybe saving me altogether, saving me from myself. And, you know, the eyes are the most precious thing, you know, God give us. You know, I want to see my kids grow up and evolve and become good men and good citizens. And, yeah, it was the right call from Jamie, although it really, really hurt my pride.
Yeah, well, it's a fight with pride. I mean, you know, what was the one moment what made you firmly say you was 9 months dithering what to do? Was there one person who said one sentence or something you said to yourself that said, right, that's it, I'm ringing Jamie, Steve Wood and telling them that's definitely it?
You know what? I'm just writing my autobiography at the moment. And the first chapter is called Something in My Eye. And I was sat in my favourite cafe in Hull, Thieving Harry's. And the reason it's my favourite cafe is because it's down the old fruit market where the fruit market used to be. And I grew up down there. That's where I was almost made. Either the fruit market or the gym was the two places that I'm, you know, most were. So I'm sat there, and it was at the time an interview with TKO had just been released. And when I was recording the interview, I didn't actually know I was recording the interview. I was just talking, you know, as I would, but the camera was rolling. And although it made for great viewing and it was very real and very raw, people, you know, passed comment on it and, you know, pointed out the fact that maybe my speech was deteriorating or I was slurring my words. But I don't particularly think I was slurring my words. I think I was just emotional. I was caught off guard. Didn't think I was doing an interview. You know, me doing this interview now, I'm cautious of, you know, how I'm speaking, what I'm saying, because it's an interview and I've got a very broad Hull accent. So, you know, I think it just caught me off guard. But I went to get some checks because I decided that I was going to fight again. But I was going to firstly get the information, you know, do a bit of soul searching and see if I still had the desire, which, you know, the desire was certainly there. I wanted to fight. I wanted to carry on. And then I was going to make my decision. So when I went to get the information and find out if my eyesight was okay, they just said, look, they said to me just what I've just said. Your eyes are the most precious thing you was given, and what you've got is a muscle imbalance, and the substantia part of the back of your eye has been slightly damaged. It's the black part, and because this part of my eye was damaged, which is also attached to the brain, my right eye veers out to the right. So when I'm concentrating on something at close distance, this right eye automatically wants to go the other way. So because I'm an orthodox fighter and I'm this way on, like now as I'm looking at this telephone, my eye is immediately going that way, and I'm getting double vision doing it now as we're speaking.
You still get double vision, yeah? You
still get
double vision time, yeah? Whenever you turn
my eyesight.
So whenever you turn your head to your right, you get double vision.
If I go southpaw now,
yeah,
I can just see the one view. I'm absolutely fine. But as soon as I go orthodox now, I can see part of my nose and I can see two of you.
Wow.
So it's easily fixed. It's very common in boxing. So, I could have had the operation and I could have continued fighting, but that's obviously a sign that my health is starting to deteriorate from boxing. So why go one step too far? You know what I mean? I've had a great career. I've achieved more than I ever thought I would. I met some fantastic people. I've got nothing but great memories. I didn't win a world title, but I fought at Madison Square Garden. I'm just a kid from Hull. 10 years ago, I was locked up in a police station called Queen's Gardens. And then I went to Madison Square Gardens. It's like, what a difference 10 years makes from Queen's Gardens to Madison Square Gardens. And, I'm extremely happy with how my career went. And I wanted to get out and have positive, a positive outlook on boxing, because I have tons of young kids in my 3 gyms, and I want to remain passionate about the game and remain in love with it.
You gave a lot to boxing. You obviously still love the sport. That's obvious. You vanished again. Hey, you're back with me now. You obviously love the sport. You gave so much to boxing. Every fight, you left it all in there. You spoke so candidly about how wounded you were when Jamie called you out the fight, even though you were suffering double vision. What does the future hold for you in boxing? So I know you can't walk away from it because you love it too much.
I'll never walk away from it. It's been my best friend for 25 years. I get upset talking about it now, Steve. It's, I love the sport so much, mate. I really, really do. But I want to stay involved in boxing, but how can I put this? I want to focus on my business immediately, because if I focus on my business immediately and put all my attention to my business and grow it in a way I think it can grow, that will support me and that will support my family. Then I can continue doing the boxing as a hobby, doing it for the love. I've seen too many trainers and boxers and managers fall out over money. If I get involved in boxing, it will be for the love of the sport, like Kerry Kayes. Kerry Kayes, it's just a hobby for him because he had a fantastic business career. And I take a lot of inspiration from that man, in the sense that if I can, do good business, earn a living, look after the people that I need to look after, and, train the lads at 11 o'clock every morning and have a crack with them, then what a lifestyle that is. I don't want to get wrapped up in making a living out of boxing anymore. I want to do it because I love it, and it'll help me.
Tell us about your businesses. Where you're hoping to make your money?
Well, we sell fruit veg. Everyone's got to eat, right?
It's a business. Like at the moment, you must have got Asda undercutting you and doing all sorts here.
You know what? we've done very well in the current climate with the fruit and veg, because what's happened is a lot of people have been avoiding the big, like multi-conglomerates, you know, the big Asdas and the Morrisons.
The boys who want to squash you.
Yeah, all those bastards. And, you know, they've been supporting local because there isn't a queue. You know, we are available, and, you know, we are just around the corner, and they ain't got to get in the car, and they can walk to us. So we've done very well with the fruit and veg. Health and well-being, I have 3 gyms. I have corporate well-being. We look after Siemens Gamesa, which is a big company worldwide.
Yes.
Siemens Gamesa is a worldwide company.
Yeah. Siemens.
Yeah, and we have the wind power company in Hull on the dock, and we look after their corporate well-being. So we have 4. I know. Give me 5 minutes. I'm just doing a call. Shut the door for me. Kids. Joys of lockdown, eh? So, you know, we have Arthur, Daddy's coming in 5 moments. So we have, you know, 4 pillars to the company. We have eat well, move well, sleep well, and think well. And those 4, you know, pillars to the company are, you know, what we kind of work on within a company. We make sure they eat well. We make sure they're moving well. And that's not just, you know, moving more, but when lifting in the warehouse, lifting correctly, making sure they're hydrated.
Healthy,
yeah,
basically, yeah. I can see you're getting.
Of course. Well,
sorry.
Hey?
Go on, yeah.
No, I was just saying, a lot of these companies, you know, what makes a company world class? And the answer is their employees. But how do you get the employees to come and work for that company? And it's by being a great company to work for. So these companies, when they seem to be offering services like well-being, free gym memberships, and showing that they care, you know, gravitates these great employees to come and work for them.
Well, I tell you, I know your kids are calling. I'm going to ask you 2 or 3 very quick questions on your career, and you can answer them.
Yeah, I think.
And then
I'm going to shut this door so I can answer them correctly.
Shut the door.
The dish of tea out. It's tea time in our house. Hey, Steve, look at this what Jamie bought me.
Go on. Oh, wow. I've got to put my
yeah, so it was a retirement present. He got me, he knows how much of a big Rocky Balboa fan I am, so he got me a signed Sylvester Stallone glove and a replica Ring magazine belt, which he got when he beat Apollo Creed.
That's love. It's love from me. I'm going to ask you.
You know what?
Go on.
He's a beautiful man, is Jamie. He's a beautiful man, is Jamie. At the end of everybody's career, you know, a lot of people go missing because you can't enhance their life anymore, or you don't bring anything to the table. Jamie Moore, Nigel, Travis, Steve Wood, they've gone nowhere. They're good people. I made the right decision teaming with those guys.
You've sort of answered the first question now about, you know, the biggest influence on your career.
Sorry.
You can see into a crystal ball. What I'm going to ask you, okay? The best fighter you shared a ring with.
The best fight, Chris Algieri, definitely, because I hurt him in round 2 and he didn't panic. Normally I'd get guys out of there when I hurt him like that, but he stayed calm, he stayed positive, and he found a way to win. He changed his game plan, and he turned it on to beat me. Luke Campbell's a great fighter, not a great puncher, but a great fighter. I've been in there with some good fighters. I've had some fun.
Okay. The worst night of your career, when you've gone back home and you've like sulked for weeks, or you just can't believe it, something's happened.
Do you know what? I've never sulked, never ever been mad at myself, because I've always prepared. One thing about me, Steve, I might not have been the greatest fighter in the world, but I was 100% professional. I trained hard, I lived a life, I didn't cut any corners. I just want a great fighter. I had a big pair of balls, and I was entertaining. But I was very upset after the Luke Campbell fight just because I was very embarrassed. He was a kid from the same city. He was West, I was East. And it was tough to walk around the town. It was tough. But, you know, I didn't lose to no average Joe. You know, Luke's the real deal. He's going to go on to become a world champion for sure.
How do you two get on now?
Yeah, we're okay. I was always fine with him, but I think he kind of, because he was fighting me, you know, he kind of, we remember me and Luke grew up together. We boxed in the same amateur gym. We shared a room together in Australia. We travelled all over the world together as amateurs. And I think there was a lot of animosity there just because of maybe Chinese whispers. We both live in the same city. He said this, he said that. But we get on now, and I wish him well. I think he'll beat Garcia. I think he'll beat Hainey as well.
Really?
These guys, they're... yeah, I do, 100%. I fancy my chances against Ryan Garcia. He's fast, but he don't punch, and he leaves his chin in the air when he punches. I think Luke comfortably beats Ryan Garcia. He has a tough fight with Hainey, but I think he beats Hainey as well.
And final one, the greatest night of your boxing career.
The greatest night of my boxing career, Madison Square Garden.
Really?
And I got beat. But yeah, like, I won the Commonwealth title, which was a phenomenal achievement for me because of, you know, my ability, and, you know, maybe in terms of ability, I shouldn't have won the Commonwealth, but I did because I persevered and I stayed on and I stayed disciplined and dedicated and worked hard. But, you know, going to Madison Square Garden, the whole build up and the people I had there with me -1 was just phenomenal. Like, it's just amazing, Steve. It really, really was. Even though I didn't get beaten, I met a good friend in Chris Algieri. You know, we speak regular. He's going to come over to Hull for my last dance. Hey, Steve, if you want to come, you know, 25th of September, all being well, you can sit on Woody's table.
Oh, I'll come over. Yeah, I'll speak to Steve.
Adam Smith's hosting it. Loads coming. Chris Algieri, Cal Frampton, Martin Murray, you know, Jamie, Derry Matthews, Kevin Mitchell. Loads of people are coming. It'll be fantastic. Ricky Adams, guest speaker, so he'll be telling jokes.
I'll speak to Steve. Tell him to put me on his table. I'll speak to him.
Yeah, it'll be a good night, mate.
Yeah, and finally, you know, 30 fights, as you say, boxed at Madison Square Garden, boxed the best, boxed anybody, headlined an open air show in your hometown, even if the result didn't go your way. What would, you know, you got a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge you can pass on. Your advice to any young kids and professional?
Work hard, make sacrifices, but persevere above all. Because if you can persevere in times of adversity, success eventually is inevitable. And that's all I did. I worked hard. You know, I didn't quite get the decision. I put in more hard work. I made more sacrifices. I still didn't quite get the decision, but I did it again. I persevered. And eventually, you know, I achieved my dream and some. So, you know, work hard, make sacrifices, persevere. But have a plan B, plan for the future. You know, boxing is not such a generous sport in a sense that you can make life-changing money unless you are, you know, a phenomenal fighter right at the top of your tree. But what you can do is you can make a name for yourself, you can build a brand, and you can build a business. And I built a brand, I built a business. I was good to those that helped me. I've never forgot those that helped me. And, you know, I stand today probably better off than when I was fighting. So, you know, make a plan B. Make hay while the sun's shining, and get out at the right time. Get out with all your faculties intact, because your health is your wealth. And having children is the greatest thing in the world.
Tommy, thank you very much for speaking to us. It's been a delight to spend, you know, this half hour, whatever it is, chatting with you. Absolutely flew by.
Thanks, Steve. I've just heard Daddy Coyle walk through the door, and he's not talking to me at the minute. Let me try and get him for you 1 minute. Dad!
Oh, yeah.
He's not talking to me at the minute because I've cut all these trees down. Dad! Dad! This will be funny. 1 minute. Dad! 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 Just come here. I'm talking to Steve Burns on Zoom. Come here. Dad! He's here, Steve.
Yeah, I want to ask him something. I'll do that job. I'll do that job you asked me to do, Tom, when he comes on your dad.
I told him about.
Daddy,
I told him about the trees.
Yeah, they've took my fucking trees down.
No,
Won't do it again.
He just told me he wants me to come round tomorrow. I've got to go up the M62 from Manchester to Hull and move some trees for him.
Have you? Well, you won't be moving my fucking trees, mate.
Steve, great to speak to you, mate. The kids have invaded now.
Daddy Coyle.
See you later, Bill.
Bye.
See you later, Steve. Lovely to speak to you, mate. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Come on, let's have some tea.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.